Today, 927 days into this pandemic, we've reached a major milestone in our journey with COVID-19. Today, Cabinet has determined that based on public health advice, we are able to remove the traffic light system and with that decision, claim back the certainty we have all lost over the last 3 years. Our COVID numbers are currently at the lowest levels we have had since February 2022. The most recent health advice tells us that with cases and hospitalisations reducing, our population well vaccinated and expanded access to antiviral medicines, that New Zealand is in a position to take its next significant step in COVID management. Therefore, Cabinet has concluded that from midnight tonight, we will remove the COVID-19 protection framework, or the traffic light system, and make a number of other changes to our settings, focusing for the most part on just 2 tools. Let me run you through these changes. First, you will no longer be required by government to wear a mask anywhere except in healthcare settings like hospitals, GPs, pharmacies and aged residential care facilities. Some places, such as workplaces, special events or marae, they may ask you to wear a mask. This will be at their discretion, but no longer a government requirement. Because masks are still an effective tool for reducing the spread of COVID and other respiratory illnesses, we'll continue to supply them for free when picking up rats and in many other sites. The Ministry of Health will also continue to provide guidance on mask use and will continue to encourage them in confined places such as public transport or when visiting vulnerable people. Masks have played a critical role in managing the spread of Omicron, but we're now at a point in the pandemic with our low case numbers where the gains to be made through mandatory mask wearing are lessened. We do not want to ask more of you than the evidence tells us we should. That does not mean you shouldn't wear a mask or judge others who do, so please do respect those who choose to wear masks. The second change is that only those who test positive for COVID-19 will need to isolate for 7 days. The 7-day isolation period for household contacts will end as of midnight tonight. This is a substantial change. It's the first time in 3 years that a case in your household will no longer mean that everyone stays home. Instead, we simply ask that household contacts undertake a daily RAT test. If you're negative, you can continue to go about your work, life and schooling as normal. Isolation of positive cases remains the most effective way of slowing the spread of the virus and protecting others. And so to support this, the leave support payments for COVID cases will continue. Now, some believe we should reduce isolation periods. Evidence shows that removing or moving down to a 5-day isolation period could result in 15 to 20% more cases being released while infectious, which would in turn increase hospitalisations. We don't believe now is the time to do this. All remaining vaccine mandates, also used by government, will also now end. The only current mandates were for health and disability workers, but with high vaccination rates now coupled with high numbers of people having had the virus itself, it's now safe for them to conclude. With the removal of the vaccination mandate, it will be at an employer's discretion as to whether to require their workforces to be vaccinated. We're also ending vaccination requirements for all travellers arriving into New Zealand, including aircrew, and the requirement to test on day 0/1 and 5/6 will now be encouraged rather than required.